Hi people, the name is Mark and I'm just going to do a quick video here and I'm going to explain something very fast and very carefully because a lot of people are running around and they're saying, oh, I am not this person. Okay, so we're going to make this very short and sweet so people get this. This is the Ontario Birth Certificates Official Government is Sued Issued page. Okay, that's that, and then it says who can apply for an Ontario birth certificate. Without looking at the rest of this sentence, it says the person. We're going to look up what a person is, and a person is, it says right here, it says a man considered according to the rank he holds in society with all the rights to which the place he holds entitles him and the duties which it imposes. And then it goes on to say a human being considered as capable of having rights and of being charged with duties. So when they're charging you, they're looking for money. And it says, while a thing is the object over which rights may be exercised, and you know what that thing is, people? It's the creation of this Ontario birth certificate. And they already tell you here that it's off ice, IC all, mind control issued. That's exactly what those three words says. So now that we've stated what the person is there, we're going to look up what it says here about the person. That was Black's Law too. So they told you that they deal with human beings right here as well. Right, capable of having rights but not having rights, and it says human being considered as capable of having rights but not having any rights and of being charged with. So now you know a human or a man considered according to the rank he holds in society with all the rights to which he places, which the place he holds entitles. So it can be a corporation and stuff, but of course it's got to be comprised of men because it takes people to rock up, and it says who can apply. It takes people to rock up and lie and state that they are this person. Now we've established that they deal in humans and man, right? So now that we've established that, it says here, person in Black's Law 9, it says, this is on page 1257, by the way, Black's Law 9, it says person. A human being. So there you go. Okay, so that's just keeping it simple. So now that we've established a person is a man who's rocked up and applied, became a liar, and an apply who can't lie to state that he is the person who is the subject of the birth certificate. And if you look up the keyword subject, and it says states slave. Now this stuff is printed on bond paper to be exact, right? So we'll pretend this is the birth certificate and it's on bond paper, right? Which states that it's legal tender, even though these people are bankrupt. And the bottom line is, people, if you rock up, you're agreeing that so it says who can apply for an Ontario birth certificate, and you're stating that you are the person who is the subject of the birth of a certificate, this piece of paper, the birth certificate. So you're stating that you're the slave to this certificate, and when you look up bond, and it states, right, it states that basically from then on in, you're held in captivity, and we're going to come to, say, I don't know, page 148 here. I'm going to show you this because the birth certificate is printed on bond paper to be exact, right? So we'll zoom up here, and I just want you to see these words. So if you apply, you are agreeing to be that person, which you never could be that person, so that's fraud right there, because in Citizenship Act C-29, page 7, they've claimed that bond, that birth certificate, and that statement of claim as their property, right? It even states so. And it says bond, a contract by specialty to pay a certain sum of money. So if you rock up and you apply to agree to be this person, well, you're now the slave to that contract. Sum of money being a deed or instrument under seal by which the maker or obliger promises. You're becoming the obliger and you're going to pay the debt. And then it goes on to say bondage, slavery. So that's keyword, age of the bond, bond age, and what's this printed on? That's printed on bond paper, okay, people? So I'm just going to make this snappy and simple. So if you rock up and you apply and you agree to be the person who is the subject of the birth certificate, the birth of the certificate, well, we've established already that we know this is on bond paper. That makes you a slave. That makes you a subject, means below sub, right? Subpar, submarine. You can see where I'm going with this. And it says slavery. And we're going to look up the word slavery here. So that was out of Black's Law 9, right? There it is, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. And we're going to come up once again, and this is just for the newbies, people, so please, you know, bear with me. This is from the World Book Dictionary. There it is. And this is like 1968, so they're not hiding anything. And it says here, slave, noun, slaved, slaving. A person who is the property of another. Well, let's take a look at this. It states here, who can apply for an Ontario birth certificate? So the person, so it states, the person who is the property of another. So if you rocked up, you've already agreed to be a man who signed with this with a signature, take the G out, sin at year, and you've already lied against God and the Creator to state that you're now this person. That's fraud. And I don't care if you even work for the government, that's fraud. That's fraud on you, and that's fraud on the Creator. Now, nonetheless, and then it goes on to say, slaves were bought and sold like horses. That's all you are to these people, just horse meat people. And then it goes on to say, a person who submits to or follows another. If you've applied, you've submitted to, you've followed this, you've even paid a processing time, you're paying for your own slavery. See how easy this is, people? This is not rocket science. And then it goes on to say, so a person who submits to or follows another, the head of a party, so even the heads of government parties and states and all that, they're slaves. That's all they are, and consequently, the slaves of a party. Like, people, I can't make this up. And it says a person who is controlled or ruled. Well, let's look at this word again, a person. We've already established that a person is a human being, a man, a slave, right? Chattel, right? A color of man. And then if we come into Black's Law 9 here, I'm just going to show you guys something again. And we're going to look up a keyword service because that just happens to be one of the banks in Alberta. And we're going to come there. And there you go, guys. That's Black's Law. Here we go. We'll see if we can get that in there anyhow. Service. There you go. SERVUS, right? And look, a slave. Right off the hop, man. So now that you know this person is a slave, and if you've rocked up, you've applied, you've said that you are now this piece of paper, and that's why when the police come to arrest you, they're not just coming for their person. You've agreed to be this person, which is a piece of paper, and you be the subject of this piece of paper, which in fact is all legislation, and we've established that in bond, that's the contract that binds all right here in their fictitious de facto system, and that's that person. And it says here, service. It says Roman law, a slave. We've already established what a slave is. Right off the bat, it stated that it was the person who was the property of another. And it says a slave, a human being who was property and could be bought, sold, pledged, and testated. How's that make you guys feel now? Right? And this goes out to everybody, like government employees, the whole 9 yards, right? I don't care who you are. If you partake in this and that and effectively, and you're in control of one of these, that makes you an agent of evil, and you are a slave. And we've established what a person in the bond and a slave is. It's just that simple. This is the simplest video, and I'm sorry, people, but if you paid for this and you are lying, you're lying for an Ontario birth certificate already, they tell you you're a liar. And see my other videos, claim and delivery. And then you're paying a fee to process this and have this claim sent to you, and then you're in touch with the debt, and he who holds this is the debt holder. Not only will you pay this debt, you'll pay that debt with your body because you've agreed to have this movable piece of property, which is known as land, to become the subject. And that's why when the cops come and grab you, they come not just for that person, they come for you because you've rocked up and you've lied. You've lied to state that you're the person who is a slave, who is the subject of the birth certificate. So now that you know that, people, how's that grab you by the short and curlies? That's about all I can say there. Ha ha ha. Anyhow, peace, love, respect to all. This is not meant to discourage or talk down to people. It's just the truth is what it is. It's just that simple. Anyhow, peace, people. Cheers. Bye.